we've got an opinion commentary piece from the Wall Street Journal. Now, keep in mind, the Wall Street Journal has a readership of people that consume the Wall Street Journal across all political lines, okay? And the Wall Street Journal in this article is calling, or at least saying out loud, that maybe Caitlin Clark's civil rights are actually being violated.
The Wall Street Journal just set the internet on fire, and not in a good way for the WNBA. They are basically hinting that Caitlin Clark's treatment might not just be unfair, it could be illegal. Yeah, we're talking civil rights territory here. Forget just basketball drama. This has now entered the world of federal investigations, lawsuits, and potentially even Congress getting involved. Imagine that, WNBA leaders dragged into hearings over how they've handled one player. Wild. So I've got to ask, has the league crossed the line into creating a hostile work environment for Caitlin Clark? And the crazy part is, this isn't coming from some random blog or Twitter thread. This is the Wall Street Journal, one of the most buttoned-up, business-heavy publications in the country. They just published an opinion piece by Sean McLean, and this man did not hold back. His argument? The WNBA hasn't just let things slide, they've allegedly created an environment where Clark is systematically targeted, and that could be a violation of civil rights law. When a serious outlet like the Wall Street Journal frames your league as a potential lawsuit waiting to happen, you know the drama is bigger than sports.
Everybody's bragging about this 5-game winning streak. That is great. But Caitlin Clark doesn't get to play under these circumstances, where these girls are just going out there and playing basketball. That doesn't get to happen for her.
Let's unpack what's really being said here, because this isn't your usual hot take. This isn't fans complaining about refs or Twitter debating hard fouls. This is a major news outlet using the kind of language that makes lawyers and politicians perk up. They are literally suggesting the Department of Justice, Congress, and even antitrust regulators should be paying attention. That's not sports talk. That's the kind of talk that makes commissioners lose sleep.
The Wall Street Journal in this article is calling, or at least saying out loud, that maybe Caitlin Clark's civil rights are actually being violated. Is her right to a peaceful workplace, a non-hostile work environment, are those rights being violated by the WNBA?
Here's the part that nobody can really deny. Caitlin Clark has been the game changer. Like, on a Michael Jordan level for the WNBA. The numbers are insane. Viewership up 366%. App engagement up 613%. Merchandise sales up 601%. That's not just growth, that's resurrection. She's basically pulled the league out of irrelevance and turned it into must-watch TV. But here's the kicker. Instead of protecting the star that saved them, the league has reportedly been treating her like a nuisance. How does that even make sense?
And at the very least, there's a portion of this that says maybe WNBA leadership should at least have to go sit in front of some people and answer some very uncomfortable questions. Lord knows I would love to see that. Because Kathy Engelbert and Adam Silver, it seems to be nothing to see here. Please move along. Now, I've seen a lot of fans just come out and say, hey, they're assaulting her, it's battery, yada, yada, yada.
It's like your cousin wins the lottery and instead of celebrating, the whole family complains that they are getting too much attention. That's what the WNBA's behavior looks like right now, backwards and suspicious.
Now, it talks about the fact that Caitlin Clark has basically done for the WNBA what Michael Jordan did for the NBA, right? Instead of protecting its transformative star, the league's leadership ignores the relentless targeting of Miss Clark, treating its greatest asset.
Now here's where it gets legally dangerous. The article points out Clark has absorbed 17% of all flagrant fouls this season. That's double the rate of everyone else. That's not coincidence, that's a pattern. And patterns are exactly what civil rights lawyers salivate over. When you can show statistically that one person is singled out more than anyone else, you're no longer just talking bad luck. You're building a legal case.
I also blow up on the internet because I fought someone. So
just so sick.
Honestly, it is funny. It is funny because
for good reason.
Yeah. Well,
wasn't she?
Yeah. Let me just tell people the story real quick because I don't think I've gotten to really tell my point of view of things.
Yeah.
Is like, You have seen players in our league try to like toughen up Caitlyn or CC. For even when I wasn't on her team, like I know the talks that Phoenix had in the locker room of like, no, we're gonna prove her, we're gonna show her what the W really is. You know what I mean? And like I get it to a certain extent, and like every rookie comes to the league, that's how you're gonna treat them. But
Right.
there's just more for her. So it's her second year. And like now being on her team and like seeing it, I'm like, what are people doing? Like, actually, it's just too much. And
Yeah.
like, it's just, I'm over it. And if I'm saying it's too much, then it's probably.
And it's not just fans noticing. Phoenix Mercury's Sophie Cunningham flat out said, the star player of the league is not being protected. That's another pro player basically calling out the WNBA. Then Clark herself admitted, everybody is physical with me. They get away with things others don't. That's her politely saying the refs are letting things slide that wouldn't fly if it were anyone else. And let's talk about injuries. She's already missed 10 games plus the All-Star game, and ratings instantly tanked, down 55%. That proves her value in black and white. When Caitlyn's out, the league bleeds money and attention. If those injuries come from hits that refs should have stopped, that starts to look less like sports and more like negligence, then you layer on the racial angle. Aisha Wilson has said race plays a role in how Clark is treated, which is huge. Under civil rights law, you don't need a smoking gun or someone saying something blatantly racist. If the pattern of treatment suggests discrimination, that alone can trigger federal scrutiny. And that's exactly what the Wall Street Journal piece suggests. They even cite landmark cases like Harris versus Forklift Systems, 1993, and Texas Department of Community Affairs versus Badine, 1981, showing Clark's treatment could legally be defined as a hostile work environment. And let's not forget the comments from Mystics owner Sheila Johnson basically shading Clark's Athlete of the Year award. Dick Vitale called it jealousy, but legally, remarks like that from leadership could be used as evidence of hostility. Then there's her being left off the Olympic roster, despite being the league's biggest star. Add all of that up, and suddenly it's not just rough play. It starts to look like systematic exclusion, and politicians are paying attention. Senator Jim Banks already sent a letter demanding answers about Clark's treatment. When Congress starts sniffing around your league, it usually means the storm is coming. Imagine Commissioner Kathy Engelbert having to explain to Congress why her star player is treated like a punching bag. That's the kind of clip that would go viral, for all the wrong reasons, and if the Labor Department or Justice Department's Civil Rights Division gets involved, that's no longer just bad PR. That's legally binding consequences, but here's the real nuclear option. If Congress decides the WNBA shouldn't have its antitrust exemptions anymore, the special privileges that let it function as a league, that could fundamentally change the business model forever. We're talking about the survival of the league itself, and here's the damning part. When Clark doesn't play, the game looks completely different. Less physical, fewer hard fouls. It's like a natural experiment showing exactly how much extra punishment she takes. And yet not a single suspension has been handed down for the repeated targeting. Lawyers call that disparate treatment. Fans call it obvious. Plays like Marina Mabrey's blindside hit or Dijonai Carrington's dangerous foul aren't just basketball plays. They are the kind of thing that in any other context might be labeled assault. The fact that these go unpunished while Clark racks up injuries? That's exactly the kind of inconsistency that screams discrimination. What makes this Wall Street Journal piece so devastating is where it's coming from. This isn't a sports blog with an agenda. This is one of the most respected business publications in America saying, hey, this doesn't just look bad, this could be illegal. That takes the conversation out of sports and into federal law, workplace safety, and civil rights. The numbers back it up too. When Clark plays, fans show up. When she doesn't, interest collapses. Merchandise sales up 601%. Engagement up 613%. That's not hype, that's receipts. She's not just the face of the league, she is the business model. Which makes the lack of protection and outright hostility even harder to explain. Unless, of course, something deeper is going on. And the Wall Street Journal piece even raises the scariest possibility for the league, internal communications coming to light. If discovery in a lawsuit ever pulled up emails or texts showing officials knowingly letting Clark take more abuse, that would be catastrophic. We've seen it before. Leaks and receipts can destroy institutions. Bottom line, this is no longer just a basketball story. It's legal. It's political. It's cultural. And it's growing fast. The WNBA thought they were just dealing with heated fan debates, but if federal agencies start poking around, this could spiral into one of the biggest sports scandals in years. The Wall Street Journal just reframed Caitlin Clark's situation as a civil rights issue, and if that framing sticks, the WNBA is in serious trouble. So what do you think? Is this headed for lawsuits, federal investigations, or will the league finally wake up and protect their star? Let me know in the comments.